Letitia James getting called out at a town hall meeting in New York. There's someone there that really doesn't like her in the crowd. This happened just a short time ago today, and she had to respond to some of his questions as the whole room kind of looked on in total shock. This guy was great because he asked the big one, how's it going to feel when you're in prison? I mean, it's not anything to laugh about, right? I mean, she may very well be, because this is a criminal investigation that the FBI has opened up into allegations of fraud vis-a-vis her mortgages. Here we go.
Yes, my question is for Tush James. Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. They're discredited. And so we want to thank him. Our next speaker.
Really? They're discredited? I don't think they're discredited. In fact, I think the FBI just opened up a criminal case to look into those allegations. Letitia, you may say they are discredited. Nobody else actually feels that way. In fact, when I look at these allegations, they're rather significant, okay? Because apparently you decided to go buy a house in Virginia and you told the bank as you applied for a federal housing loan that you were actually going to use that as your primary residence. That's what's on the forms. And so William Pulte over at FHA is like, whoa, wait a second. Why were you saying that that was going to be your primary residence? I mean, that's what you're signing, right? With the power of attorney, et cetera. Primary residence mortgages, they receive more favorable loan terms, he writes, including lower interest rates than secondary residence mortgages. Lenders view secondary residence mortgages as significantly riskier, as a borrower is more likely to continue paying on a primary residence than on a secondary residence. So guess what? When you went in there and you said, this is going to be my primary residence, even though you were the Attorney General of the state of New York, you were lying. In order to, here's the irony of it all, get yourself a better rate on your mortgage. Gosh, isn't that what you accused Donald Trump of doing? At least he wasn't going after federal funds to do it, right? Okay, so this is the little house there in Virginia that she said, oh, no, this is going to be my primary residence. And this is what's going to land her in the slammer. Oh, Daily Caller recently caught up. I want to play this tape. I'll talk a little bit over it. It's kind of hard to hear the audio, but the Daily Caller reporters went there and paid a little visit. Nobody appreciated it very much, see?
Hi there. I'm a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
Goodbye, you're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids are out here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
Don't
because
worry
there's
about who's occupants. That's none of your business.
well there
You're
are connections to
Okay, but
New
you're
York Attorney
trespassing.
General Letitia
That doesn't
James.
matter. You're trespassing.
Are you related to
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
Do you know her?
You're trespassing. Go in the house.
Do you know
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
No? Okay.
You're trespassing.
No comment. Thank you,
Don't pull
ma'am.
up to my house no more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one.
It's gonna be problems.
You will.
Woo! Okay, don't come to my house no more. Well, this is not the end of it, okay? So like where there's smoke, there's fire, shall we say. That was one allegation, right? She's living in New York, primary residence is in New York. She has a political position in New York, and yet she's trying to say primary residence is in Norfolk, Virginia. And then she has, you see, this other brownstone where you get a better rate, again, with federal housing involved, if you say you got 4 levels instead of 5. So what'd you do? She said she had 4 levels instead of 5. Oh, guys, it gets worse. Back in 1983, her dad wanted a new home, so she signed on as his wife. I'm like, wow. And yet she has the audacity. Let's watch it again, because why not? She has the audacity to sit there and say, there's nothing to see here, to the heckler who wants to know how's it going to be when she's behind bars. She might look good in orange. Hey.
Yes, my question is for Tush James. will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be imprisoned for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. They're discredited. And so we want to thank him.
No, they're not discredited, okay? So just for the record, you heard the allegations. They're not discredited. This is her song, right? She went on Chris Hayes' show the other day. She's on other MSNBC shows trying to say that there's nothing there. Really? Then why is the FBI investigating you for criminal fraud, Tushy?
I will respond to these baseless allegations at the appropriate time and in the appropriate way, but I am 100% confident that it will not result in any criminal indictment or action against me, and that it is nothing more than a revenge tour, and that Donald Trump just ultimately got to the J's, and I was next.
No. You see, it actually already has resulted in an FBI criminal investigation into you. I guess you spoke too soon on that one. Well, she decided to go back on MSNBC just last night and talk to Jen Psaki, the new replacement for Rachel Maddow. We'll talk about that in a second. Here she is.
I have to ask you, I mean, there were reports today that the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into real estate transactions that you're involved with. I'm not validating that in any way, but I wanted to just ask you if you've received a formal notice of that.
Oh, you can tell how she's so terrified to ask her that. Think about that. This woman who's got some prime spot on MSNBC can't even ask Tish James, or Tush, as the heckler said, about these allegations. She's struggling.
Received a formal notice of that at this point.
No, not at all. These allegations, Jen, are baseless. They have been discredited, refuted. There was a letter that was prepared by my attorney that was sent to Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney General. And it's unfortunate that President Trump publicly attacked me a few days ago. And as a result of that, he telegraphed to the Department of Justice and to FBI that I should be targeted. You see, this is nothing more than an extension of his revenge, his retribution, and he finally got up to the J's. And so I stand prepared to respond to these baseless attacks with facts. And we look forward, obviously, to further discussions with the Department of Justice or any other individual who leaked this material.
Who leaked this material? But she's going to go after the leaker? The people who found documents like this? Nobody's leaking it, Tushy. No. This is like public record. They just went in and dug it all up. And Pulte made note of it and made a note of it to none other than the DOJ and Pam Bondi. And you know what? Donald Trump actually said in his commentary, do not forget, that Pam Bondi's going to do what Pam Bondi's going to do. He's not telling her to do this. But nonetheless, Letitia's a pretty bad person, right?
I can say unrelated to that, she's a disaster for New York. She's a horrible, horrible human being. And I think she's a total crook. There's no question about it. But that's just my opinion. Pam's going to have to do what she wants. She's a very bad person. She's a very bad person who campaigned solely on, I'm going to get Donald Trump over and over again. She's a sick person. But that has nothing to do with what Pam does. Pam is going to do what's right. She always does. I've known her a long time.
Well, Pam will. And Kash Patel is making an investigation. And by the way, this came from William Pulte, who said, here we go. We got some problems. And you really can't have an AG that's out there trying to get mortgage loans fraudulently, saying she lives somewhere else or that she's married to her dad, for goodness sakes. Like, that's not okay. So that is why America First is now requesting that the New York Bar Association consider revoking her law license because this woman is clearly corrupt. You know she's corrupt. You know she lies. We have evidence because there's this little thing, I don't know, called the internet, called tape,
The President of the United States has complained that I'm engaging in some sort of political witch hunt, that I've got some personal vendetta against him, that I campaigned against him. That is not true.
This illegitimate president who sits in the White House. That president, because he's not my president, he's an illegitimate president. His days are numbered.
Okay, I would just say, even though she wants you to believe she did not campaign against him, she absolutely did campaign against him. And so she's a liar. She's a liar who says she's married to her dad in order to get her dad a better rate on a mortgage. That's 1983. And then you fast forward to the 2000s, and she's doing all kinds of things again. They're in not only Virginia, but then again with the brownstone in New York. Her lawyer wants you to think these are just a bunch of clerical mistakes. I'm sorry, she's signing this stuff. These aren't clerical mistakes. If you're a lawyer yourself, you don't think you look at what you're signing? For goodness sakes, you can go with that one all day long. We know better. This woman, though, she deserves, I'm just going to say it, okay? And I know, we've done her every single day as the lead because there are all these little bits and pieces of news that come out there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to lead with Letitia again. I'm just going to say this. This case, more than any of the other cases, really bugs me. Maybe it's because I'm a business reporter. Maybe because I think it's just so disgusting that an AG would so violently, frankly, violently attack someone just because she doesn't like his politics and because she was trying to bankrupt him. And let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, he's still facing a $500 million in a fine because the appellate court can't get off their you-know-whats, their tushes, to actually deal with that one. This lady, this horrible, miserable lady, in my estimation, she was trying to put him either behind bars. If she couldn't do that, she was going to bankrupt him. Seriously.
4 days after a judge ordered Donald Trump to pay $355 million for a decade of fraud, New York Attorney General Letitia James says she's prepared to do everything she can to make sure the former president pays his fine, including, she told us, seizing the buildings that bear his name.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
You know what she was trying to do. She wanted to get herself right in there into Trump Tower. She's thinking, the photo op. Hey, maybe I could be president. Maybe I could be president one day if I'm out there, seizing Trump Tower for the state of New York. This is really disgusting. She is disgusting. And you know what? She's come forward with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. She sued him 100 times before, the Trump administration. She's trying to double or triple it this time around. She's going after him every which way to Sunday. HHS was the latest and greatest. She's upset because they're not going to get all their money for all their programs because she's trying to protect illegals literally in Rikers. ICE is not allowed to come in and arrest people that are at Rikers Island. I mean, you can't even make it up. Oh, and then there's the insider trading one. Latest and greatest there. She thinks that because Donald Trump told everyone just post-Liberation Day to go out and buy stocks, that was effectively insider trading. I hate to break it to you, honey pie, but insider trading is when you have non-public information, okay? Not public information. We're putting all out over Twitter and X and Truth Social, and we say, hey, go buy stocks. That is not insider trading. This woman, I can't believe she's actually got this job in the state of New York. I mean, how do these things happen? Why are we electing stupid people? Her latest and greatest, yes, is insider trading. She wants to go after him and his cronies for having bought the market after it went down, after the tariffs were announced. And while he said, go buy stocks, because, he announced it to the public. Oh, and he announced it again. In fact, less than 24 hours ago, Donald Trump, as they're signing the trade deal, way to go. With the UK, the tariffs are 10%, but a phenomenal trade deal, and the market loves it. What did he say? We're just getting started. This is going to be like a rocket ship, so make sure you buy stocks. Letitia, maybe you should.
It's the biggest bill of its kind ever in the history of this country. And Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune have done an incredible job. I mean, I'll let you know we have to get a vote, but we have a lot of support for that bill. And if that happens on top of all of these trade deals that we're doing, this country will hit a point that you better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. If we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. If it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. But it's terrible what's happened to the Democrats. So very, very important element of everything, of what we're doing.
It is. It's awesome. By the way, there's this plug for 76 Research, my financial research firm. I started with a dear friend. We have been way up in everything. I encourage you to go over there and take a look. If you get the portfolios, you get 10 to 15 stock picks in each one of them. But we have a lot of ideas as well that we share with you on the 76 report. Two off the top of my head. I think we told you on April 24th or so of last year, make sure you buy gold. What do you know? Gold's up 40%. We also said a similar thing. Forgive me on these dates. I want to say it was sometime in September. I put it out on my Twitter account actually the other day, and we said buy Bitcoin now because it's going to explode, right? And this was ahead of the election, and we knew, by the way, all the data was pointing to Donald Trump winning, and the markets were pointing to Donald Trump winning. And so Rob and I were like, we have to tell people. And sure enough, you've made 43% or even more now at this point on Bitcoin if you did that. But this is what she's going to do. She's going to go after him again and again and again. But here's the deal. Letitia, you're in trouble, okay? You're in really big trouble because the FBI is on to you. And whatever you may have done with those mortgage papers, we actually don't believe those were clerical errors. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think it had anything to do with clerical errors or your attorney's errors. I mean, when you sign up to be your dad's wife in a mortgage application, that's not an oversight. Thank you very much.